Hi, and welcome to Pet Pals. Every week we showcase animals that are available for adoption through the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. I'm Linda Shea. With me is Randy Cooper. First, we're going to take a look at 5 dogs, and then after our break, we'll take a look at 5 of our kittens and cats that are looking for forever homes. First little puppy we're going to take a look at is Drake. Drake is adorable. Drake came to us the end of December, right before Christmas. And he's a stray. He's a stray from Thurmont, which a lot of times folks will look at little dogs like this and we ask the same question, how can he possibly be a stray? He's absolutely adorable. Came to us neutered, so we know that he had an owner at some point. He's about 5 to 6 years old. He's only about 15.5 pounds, and he is very agreeable to being handled, to being pet, to being carried, although he does walk very nicely on a leash, which is a plus. Little dogs like this a lot of times can have dental issues. He came to us with some hair loss, which we've taken care of through bathing and just good nutrition. His ears had mild infection, had some issues with his eyes, but overall in relatively good health considering his age. And again, we don't discriminate when animals come in that are senior or older. We still give them a chance as long as they are behaviorally sound, temperamentally sound, and in relatively good health. Again, he came to us neutered, so we know at some point he did have a family, but other than what we know from being in the shelter, we don't have a lot of background. He does have moderate dental disease, not unusual for his age. Shih Tzu are notoriously, in a good sense, great lap dogs, great companion animals, and even though he is 5 or 6, that's not old. Shih Tzu can live to be 13, 14, 15 years old with good care. So this is Drake. We're surprised he has no adoption applications at the time of this filming, so we're looking forward to placing him in a good home. This little dog we named Whiskey. Came to us on December 22nd from the Thurmont area, Rocky Ridge, and Whiskey is a stray. So again, we don't have a lot of history with this dog other than what we've seen at the shelter. We know he's somewhere between 9 and 11 years old, so he's on the older side. He's a Beagle Hound mix of some type, about 37 pounds. Has typical senior dog things. Eyes are cloudy, has some dental issues. The teeth could use some cleaning. Came in with a scar on the left side of his hip, so we're not sure what that's from, old injury. It certainly doesn't slow him down any, and it certainly does not impact his personality. Whiskey is affectionate, very typical Beagle temperament, just very in tune with his handler, affectionate, looking towards, for treats, treat motivated, and very agreeable to being handled, to being pet, and you can see how comfortable he is with being pet, and the tail is still wagging. As normal with all of our dogs that come to us, we get their weight upon entry, so we know if they're in good weight or not. We do administer a distemper combination vaccine, a Bordetella, intranasal vaccine. We've done the deworming, flea and tick prevention on Whiskey, and have behavior assessed him. All of our dogs are behavior assessed, and Whiskey we've got color-coded orange, meaning that he's got some manners, could use a little work in some areas, but typically overall is a good dog, gets along with people, and seems to be agreeable with other dogs, which is not surprising given his breed mix. So if you're looking for a senior dog, we certainly have a couple of them on the adoption floor, and Whiskey is a good example of a great dog. On the other end of the spectrum from our quiet, calm senior dogs is Barkley. Barkley came to us on January 2nd. He is a lab mix. He's about 1.5 years old, so he is definitely much younger than our 5 to 6 year old and our 9 to 11 year old puppies that we just showed. And as you can tell, he's busy. And for those of you that watch Pet Pals on a regular basis, you've often heard me say that my preference is for older dogs, for senior dogs, and this is exactly why a lot of folks get puppies, especially lab puppies, and they are absolutely adorable, that's true, but any dog with any activity level, you have to invest time. So it's not going to be any surprise to you that watch Pet Pals on a regular basis to know that Barkley was previously owned, and he was turned in because his owners didn't have enough space for him and were unable to provide him the time and the training and the resources that he needs. And in short, that comes down to 3 words, and those 3 words are too much dog. And we hear that a lot. So those of you that are interested in adopting from any facility, any rescue, and if you're looking at an active breed, at a working breed or a retriever type breed, you need to understand that they are designed to do something. They need a job, they need work, they need training, and Barkley has the beginnings and the foundation to be a really well-trained dog. He is food motivated, responds to treats, social with people, easy to handle as far as being affectionate and agreeable to being touched. So that's a great foundation. What he needs from this point forward, though, is time and a commitment. That when he gets mouthy, that when he gets busy in the house, to take him for a walk, let him loose within a secure area, fenced yard preferably, and to work on that training. And it's going to be lifelong. He is probably not going to slow down if he's like most labs or lab mixes until he's around 7 or 8 years old. But consistent training, positive reinforcement, every time he sits, he needs to be rewarded, and that's a workout for an owner. So we disclose everything we know about our dogs, and certainly Barkley is a wonderful, wonderful possible project for somebody. So again, he has some special needs just as far as a time commitment, and if you can make that time commitment to him, he has such a great capacity to be turned into a great canine citizen. Snickers came to us on January 5th. He was turned in when his owners were moving and could not take him along. The 2 top reasons that animals are turned into our shelter previously owned is that folks move and are unable to take the pet with them, or allergies develop and they're unable to keep the pet with them. So Snickers is here because of a move. He is about 4 years old. Birthday is in April 2010. He's a Shih Tzu mix. And he is another one that's very affectionate. So when you compare some of the smaller, older dogs to some of the younger dogs, it's not that they're better, it's just that they have different needs. So when you look at an older dog, Snickers is about 14 pounds, 14 and a half pounds, you need to look towards continued vet care. Animals do not just get vaccines when they're young and they're good for life. They need a vet exam at least once a year, at least. And as they get older, you're going to look towards getting them blood work done to make sure their kidneys and liver are still working properly. And you want the vet to take a look at them from nose to tail and exam at least once a year to make sure there's nothing, no prevention that needs to happen as far as diet, as far as supplements. So a lot of times prevention goes a long way, and those vet exams really count heavily on an animal's health long term. With Snickers, he will be neutered prior to leaving here. We microchip every animal that is either adopted or returned to their owner, and there are 2 steps to a microchip. There's implanting and then there's registration, and we do both here at Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center for adoptions and then for also return to owners. We do have a stipulation on Snickers. We have him listed as being preferred to go to a home that has either older children or adults only. And the reason is not that we don't like small children, we absolutely do, but for the dog's benefit. He's a little bit shy, he's a little bit reticent, he's a little concerned about being picked up or handled, and he would really do best in a home with a more mature audience. So if you're looking at a dog like this and you do have small children, again, it's case by case, but we would probably direct you towards a different dog just to make a different match, a better match. Our goal here is to adopt out animals forever, and we do that through education, through an adoption interview process, and then certainly disclosing any and all information that we have on our dogs. So again, this is Snickers, about 4 years old, Shih Tzu mix, looking for a forever home. This beautiful girl is Sasha. She is, of course, a German Shepherd. She's about 2 years old, and her weight is deceptive. She's 65 pounds. To me, she looks much smaller, but she's a solid build. She came to us Her original owner was deployed, unable to, of course, take her along, and the friend that had taken over her care was unable to keep her. So she has had, in the last month, her original owner, the friend who had her, and then now the shelter. So she's a little bit leery, and we totally understand that. When dogs come to us, when they've changed hands, especially a working breed like a German Shepherd, they're a little bit gun shy about what's going on and not quite sure, what the future holds. So we understand that. We give them, at least 72 hours if they need that to kind of relax. And Sasha has been here for about 3 or 4 days at this point, and is doing actually remarkably well considering, the change in circumstances in her life. She will be spayed prior to leaving. We will go ahead and register her microchip to the new owner. We've brought her up to speed on vaccines. The thing that you need to know about German Shepherds, they are very loyal to their families. They're great family dogs. However, that loyalty needs to be mutual. They are deserving of a family that will continue to work on the manners, to continue to give them a job, continue to understand that they're very smart. So if you were to adopt a German Shepherd, it would be ideal if you had an outdoor activity, walking, jogging, playing fetch within a secure fenced area, giving her something to do, because German Shepherds, they are a working breed. They're not designed to be lap dogs, although she's a very, looks like a great companion animal. She has been around small animals, which she did not do well with, but again, everything is case by case. So we don't have that disclaimer on her as far as not being allowed with small animals. You would just need to be aware. She lived, with a Pomeranian, so she's lived with small dogs before, and then in the kennels, she's been agreeable to the other dogs here. So again, she's only 2 years old, and what we're looking for her to provide her is a commitment for the rest of her life. She certainly is deserving of that, and someone who maybe has working breed experience, or at least willing to commit to her and devote some resources just to continued training. And resources, I don't mean necessarily a professional trainer, but just to invest the time. She really does need some time, and to understand that any home that she goes to, she's going to need a little bit of time to acclimate, just like she did to the shelter. But as you can see, and you can see her on our adoption floor, she's acclimated fairly quickly, considering, and she's definitely inquisitive, so we like that about her as well. But Sasha would make a wonderful pet for somebody that's just willing to commit to her. So that is it for our dogs. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at some of our kittens and cats that are looking for forever homes.
Do you know the top risk factors for breast cancer? Number 1, being a woman. Number 2, getting older. So, if you are a woman and 40 or older, you should be screened for breast cancer. Talk to your healthcare provider today about getting screened with a clinical breast exam and mammogram. Doing this regularly is important, as early detection can save lives. For more information, contact the Frederick County Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Screening Program at 301-600-3362 or visit our website at frederickcountymd.gov/cancer prevention.
Did you know that one of the leading causes of death in America is motor vehicle accidents? Hello, I'm Sergeant Jody Maybush of the Frederick County Sheriff's Office. According to the Maryland Motor Vehicle Administration, each year traffic crashes kill more people in Maryland than homicides, and over 90% of total crashes are preventable incidents caused by driver error. Motorists can help law enforcement in preventing these tragedies by making the right choices on the road. Remember, speed kills, so slow down. For every mile per hour that you drive, the likelihood of you being involved in a crash significantly increases. Avoid distractions such as talking, texting, or emailing while you drive, and always wear your safety belt. The most important thing is that you arrive to your destination safely. So please, drive smart and help us in keeping Maryland roadways safe.
Did you know that all of Frederick County's mixed recyclables go to a materials recovery facility to be sorted? For this to happen, your recyclables need to be placed into a cart or bin loose, not in bags. Trash bags are not recyclable, and materials in bags are difficult to open at the sorting center and are not accepted. The only exception to this rule are recyclable plastic bags, like grocery store bags, which do need to be gathered together inside one bag so that they don't get caught in the sorting facility's machinery. Also, shredded paper should be placed inside a paper bag or cardboard box so that it can be collected and sorted properly. Thank you for helping to make recycling work better for our community. And remember, please don't bag your mixed recyclables. More information on our recycling program can be found online, in our mobile app, or by calling our office. Recycle more, waste less.
Welcome back to Pet Pals. Now we're going to take a look at 4 kittens and 1 adult cat that are looking for forever homes through the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. First little kitten we're going to take a look at is about 18 weeks old. Hank has been in foster care. He came to us the end of October. We have wonderful foster care providers that are my personally favorite volunteers. They are selfless. They take animals from the shelter into their homes for sometimes long lengths of time, and they socialize and provide them care, and they provide socialization for them. They provide them a family environment so they get used to other animals. Sometimes if they're fostering cats and they have dogs, they are able to do those introductions. Small children are always involved, so I just think our foster care providers just do a wonderful service for the animals of our shelter. So Hank again came in the end of October. He's a domestic short hair, gray and white bicolor. At this point, he's about 5.5 pounds. He looks to me like he's going to be on the smaller side when he grows up, and it's hard to anticipate when kittens are young how big they're going to be, and we get that question fairly often, but I would say he's going to probably be no more than 8 or 9 pounds when he's fully grown. We do test all of our cats that are on our adoption floor for feline leukemia, feline immunodeficiency viruses. Those are 2 viruses that can be transmitted from one cat to another cat. So that's why we test. If you have an existing cat in your home, that's something that you need to be aware of. Also, if you plan on introducing a cat down the road a bit, that's also important to know. I can tell you that Hank has been around small children, has been around a variety of other animals in his foster home, and he came to us originally from, as an owned animal that was born on someone's property that was just a stray cat. So again, if you have litters of cats on your property, if you have stray cats that you are caring for, the kindest thing that you can do in addition to providing food is to get them spayed or neutered so they are not creating kittens that have no homes. And we have lots of information on spaying and neutering for low cost or even for free for Frederick County residents. But in the meantime, Hank is here and he is looking for a forever home. This little guy is named Ember. He is about 12, 13 weeks old, and he is another product of foster care. And I can tell you he's been around older teenagers, young adults, and certainly has an activity level to keep up with both of those age groups. Very affectionate, easy to handle. Again, another experienced foster care provider that knows all about socializing, handling, and ending up producing kittens that just are just very agreeable to being held, handled, and played with. And certainly kittens are adorable. There's no denying that they are fun to watch. And surprisingly, it is January, there is snow on the ground, and yes, we still have kittens in the shelter without adoption applications that are looking for homes. We had some come in the end of October, and they are now slowly but surely returning to the shelter because they are at least 3 pounds and at least 10 weeks of age. Prior to leaving here, Ember will be neutered. He is on the small side. He's about 3.5 pounds, which is a little lightweight. And part of the challenge and the joy of working in a shelter is, one, deciding what breed animals are, because sometimes, especially with dogs, there's so many mixes in there, we can be a little creative, but also with coloring. And I've got, on Ember's medical assessment, he's black, solid black with white. From this angle, he, to me, almost has some smoked tabby markings in there depending on the light. So a little bit exotic look to him, but I think the most appealing part of any of these kittens that come in from foster care is how affectionate they are, and would make great family pets. So if you have any questions, if you've never had a kitten before in your family or in your life, we can certainly answer questions for you. But again, this is Ember looking for a forever home. So I think what we picked here is one of the cutest cats in the shelter, cutest kittens. This is Lego. Lego is also a product of foster care. Came to us back in November, and at that point was only about 3 weeks of age. So went into foster care, has been bottle fed and introduced to regular kitten chow, canned food, the whole 9 yards, and of course, as you can tell, well socialized. Lego is very affectionate. At this point, he's about 12, 13 weeks of age, a little over 3 pounds, has had everything done that needs. We've done the vaccines, the deworming prevention, the flea prevention, ear mite prevention, and of course, he has tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV. So again, I can't say enough good things about our foster care providers, because when these kittens come in and they're only 3 weeks old, they just need somewhere temporarily to stay until they're old enough for adoption outside of the shelter. We always keep a very clean shelter. We have protocols in place to prevent infection. However, when kittens come in and underage, especially without a mom, they're automatically compromised. They don't have mom's immune system. They don't have the nutrition that she provides, so we have to substitute all that. So having them in a home environment just for a little while to provide all that certainly gives them an edge, gives them the benefit of socializing and interaction with people. So Lego is a great example, just like Ember and Hank, just of kittens that came to us underage, compromised, and they have turned into very affectionate, adorable little guys. So if you are looking for a young kitten this time of year, certainly come to our adoption floor and we're happy to help you out. But this is Lego, one of quite a number of kittens at this time in January looking for forever homes. This very handsome boy is Morris. And we just saw Lego, who is a young kitten. Morris is still a kitten. He's about 6 months old, but this is typical for 6-month-old kitten. He looks very mature. He's about 5.5 pounds, so on the larger side. But the point here is that kittens do start out small and then they get bigger and grow up and turn into adult cats. So Morris came to us as a stray. We don't have a lot of information on him. We do color code our cats, dogs, bunnies, and other animals here, and he's color coded green. He's a little bit shy. He was a little bit of a challenge to get out of his carrier, but nonetheless, he's very agreeable to being handled, very agreeable to being pet, very social. One of the things that we do with all of our cats that are placed on the adoption floor, and if you are cat owners out there listening, you'll understand this, we do trim their nails before they go on the floor. And depending on whether that is a one-person job or a two-person job, that offers some insight as to what color code they are. So Morris is green. His nails are trimmed, but he's a little bit shy in his cage, not as forthcoming as some of the other cats that might be color-coded blue, but nonetheless very adoptable, very sweet, and certainly very, very pretty. He's got very symmetrical markings. We've gone ahead and vaccinated him, done all the preventatives. He did experience an upper respiratory infection. That's not unusual with cats that are coming into shelters. We have such a large population of cats and kittens at any given point in time. So when we introduce a cat that comes to us without preventatives on board, it's kind of like walking into a shopping mall or an airport or a classroom. If you don't have vaccines on board, you're more likely to catch an infection. But we've treated him, he has resolved that, and now he is available for adoption. So again, this is Morris, only about 6 months old, looking for a forever home. The last cat we're going to take a look at today is Lucky. Lucky came to us about a week ago. She is about 3 years old, domestic short hair. You can tell she's white with brown tabby, and she is color-coded blue. So that means that she is more likely to be a lap cat, to be extremely agreeable to being handled and pet. She did live with a small child, and she was turned in, and if you've listened to Pet Pals before, we kind of review the top 2 reasons animals are turned into our shelter: moving and allergies. Lucky was turned in because someone in the family developed allergies and they could not keep her. So that's how she ended up here. She's already spayed, so her previous owners did the right thing by having that procedure done. We've brought her up to speed on vaccines. Prior to leaving here, we'll implant a microchip and we'll register that information just in case she gets out. We do advocate that the cats available for adoption on our adoption floor are kept indoors. There is an ordinance in Frederick County: cats and dogs must be maintained on your property. And we know from experience, if cats are allowed outdoors, they are less likely to remain on a property unless there's some enclosure that they're allowed out in. So, but the microchip can help in the event that they escape and it's unexpected and they end up at a shelter vet's office. The microchip certainly has allowed a lot of animals to be returned to their appropriate owners because tags can come off, the collars, the tags can get worn. So the microchip is a great way, and even if you don't adopt a shelter pet, if you have a pet of your own, you want to give some thought to either attending a clinic or having your vet implant a microchip just to assist in the event your pet gets lost. But Lucky is a big girl. She's about 12.5 pounds, so on the larger side of size. She's got some moderate dental disease, not unusual for her age. And again, once you have a pet in your life, you want to make sure that you implement a vet visit at least once a year, just for a nose-to-tail exam to make sure that everything's working properly and that your pet's in good health. So again, this is Lucky, about 3 years old, looking for a home. And that wraps it up for this week's Pet Pals. Thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next week when we'll have another 10 animals that are looking for forever homes from the Frederick County Division of Animal Control and Pet Adoption Center. Until we see you, have a great week next time.
Frederick County Workforce Services and its partners are proud to support Frederick Works, one job at a time, an employer hiring initiative that encourages Frederick County businesses to create or fill at least one new job to boost our local economy. So far, the initiative has tracked over 1,500 jobs. There's no cost for employers to participate, and the benefits of joining include positive community recognition and free publicity. Visit www.frederickworks.com/onejob for more information.
The most important piece of equipment in your home is your smoke alarm, and it is probably the easiest and cheapest to maintain. Keep your family safe this year with regular smoke alarm checkups. Regularly check the batteries and perform periodic testing. For more information about smoke alarm safety and maintenance, visit the Frederick County Division of Fire and Rescue Services website at frederickcountymd.gov/smoke alarms.